Welcome to Let's Talk. Where ordinary people are doing extraordinary things. We are live and interactive. With education, spoken word, dating, love, and relationships. Culture. Spirituality. Community. Sports. And politics. Let's talk. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, as well as our other streaming channels. Let me put Mika back up in this corner here.
I was like, why
No.
I do? I'm like, you don't put me in the corner already? Okay.
But I'm just messing with Mika. I think it just looks better. It looks better that the two stars are up front. But tonight, as part of our Women's Month, trying to just highlight some women in our community who are doing some things. We have two recurring guests. Most of my audience knows Drea. They know who she is. She's been along for the ride. You know, that's been my partner in crime. But
Yes, yes, she has.
But what they don't know about Drea is I have had to share her with this other young lady up there.
Wait. I knew her before you. So.
This is true. This is true. So Mika should be mad at me about sharing Drea with me. So yes. Mika was on the show before, and they both came on the show to explain a project that they've been working together with. And they're back to explain the project again and talk more in depth about what they've been doing, because I know they basically both been turning it up. It's interesting, these two young ladies, and they'll explain their relationship. This is why I titled it Sister, to basically explain that not that you are close with somebody and you do exactly the same thing that they do, but you kind of like got to be on the same spiritual plane. I know that both of them take social media fast and hiatuses to get the mental to recalibrate.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's almost like they are actually thinking with one brain, because I'm quite
scary.
I'm quite sure that they don't even have to finish each other's sentences quite often. And one of the things, the last time they were on the show, I think they had both went to go see Dr. Yusef Hawkins, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I came up for your birthday.
Yeah, I have a very good memory. I don't forget too much stuff.
Wow, I forgot about
that. Mika, Drea is the star.
I see.
Drea, she got her own podcast, which lately she's been doing her videos, which is good because the world needs more brown girl Boston.
They really do. They really do.
So Mika, I'm gonna get you to talk because you were shy last time,
Yes,
and I
exactly.
kind
Go
of
ahead
let
and
you
talk.
off the hook.
Oh
And Drea
God. What?
told me, she said, yeah, she ain't gonna talk because she don't know you that well yet.
That's so true. Why are you telling my business though?
So,
Honey, yes.
so
That is true. I'm very shy until I really get to know a person. I kind of observe and get to know you before I open up.
Drea, Mika,
Yes.
explain to the audience, you and Drea's sisterhood.
Oh wow. Oh goodness. I think we talk. Not if it's not by phone, it's
No,
email,
you
text.
gotta explain the origin, the
Oh
beginning.
yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Oh my goodness. Well, I met her. She hosted a hair workshop in Providence, Rhode Island, which is very rare because there's only so many Black folks up in Rhode Island. So when we have those little natural hair events, we all flock to it. So I went to her first workshop. Um, and then I just approached her, like, and introduced myself. And I was like, hey, I'm from Boston. I grew up in Boston. I went to John D. O'Brien. She's like, me too. And then we kind of found out that we both went to the same high school a year or two apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, we just connected from there. She joined the organization I was part of. And we just clicked immediately. Then we both found out our families both live in the same area of Alabama, where Dre is at now. Yeah, it's just one of those weird, like, God moments. It's like, hey, you both need to connect, and we've been close ever since.
Yeah.
She's been that type of person I can count on 100%. The good, the bad, the ugly, she's there. And yeah, and we literally talk like maybe DM, text. It's always something between us, and like it's scary. Even like if people really saw our conversations, they would probably be a little scared. But yeah, it's just weird how like I was born in Georgia and I moved to Boston, whereas she was born in Boston and she moved down south for college. So our roots connected there. And then my stepfather's side of the family lives in part of the Alabama that she does and where her family's from. And it just, yeah.
Right.
It's just kind of fate. Yeah.
So we all know that Drea, those in the chat that may just be new to the show, but we know that Drea is a Tuskegee girl.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about your educational background.
Oh yeah. Oh, so I went to a predominantly white college. So I went to Johnson Wales University.
Well, did you tell me that before?
I don't know. Maybe.
You didn't tell me that before?
No.
I think you might have told me about Johnson Wales because I know that from culinary school.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. For those in the chat, Johnson and Wales, outside of American Culinary Institute, is probably the best culinary school in the world. I mean, Johnson and Wales, those chefs that come out of there, whether it's in the pastry department or the I forget the other part of the chef days. Anybody that comes out of that school, hospitality, anybody that graduated Johnson and Wales in Rhode Island, it's a very, very, very popular chef school.
I went to the business side.
Okay. How did that work?
Yeah, but Johnson Wales was actually originally founded as a business school by 3 women, and then culinary kind of took over. But it was originally a business school from birth, and then as it developed, it became more known for its culinary, hospitality, role. So I went to Johnson Wales for my business management. Then I took 2 years off and went back for my master's in organizational leadership. And so yeah, so Drea, I'm all down for like HBCUs, but I ended up going the opposite way, which is okay. But yeah, it was
so you two young ladies are in that category of are women of color with master's degrees.
Black women.
Yes, we are.
Drea, I apologize for that. Black women.
You saw her face, right?
Yeah, she gave me a look like you at all people. Because we don't for those in the chat, we don't like to be considered people of color. We just be called us who we are. We're black people.
Right.
And putting us in a category, it's like back in the 50s when they said the coloreds. You just switch the word around. So so excuse me for that. I know this is not the type of show, but you know. So you two young ladies fit the category of our black women with master's degrees.
And it's also funny because like I went
any student debt.
Yes. Oh, yes. Come on now.
Joe Biden need to pay our debt off.
You know, black women were the highly educated and the most underpaid.
Yes.
So come on.
Along that too.
I don't think here go this guy with this horn again outside. This guy's been laying on the horn outside my house, and excuse me in the chat. I really don't like to have what I would consider ghetto streams. You have to excuse me because tonight just been laying on the horn. This guy's acting like we in the early '80s when people laid on horns. Just if they don't come outside, go.
Our episode has been spiced up.
Yeah.
I know.
So you guys are basically hoping that President Biden cancels the student debt.
Somebody.
Yes. Come on now.
Come on.
That's not even a question.
No, I don't have a problem with the student debt. Honestly, I speak about it a lot. I just think that the student debt has been. I don't want people to think that the student debt is going to change the wealth gap. Me and Drea speaks about that. I just think the student gap. I just think the student gaps need. I mean, the student loans need to be. It's a racket. It's a hustle.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
You know. But yeah, my friend said the horn is hilarious. Yeah, it is hilarious because I'm pissed off because it started before the stream and it's still going on.
Exactly.
Laying on the horn like he crazy.
I know, but it's also funny. I was just thinking how Dre and I also connected. I went through an internship program called Inroads from sophomore to senior year. And Dre ended up working for Inroads not too long ago. Yeah, so it's so weird how we really connected.
We're synced together, so this is like a forever thing.
We're gonna play wordplay now. Look at Dre. Dre looking at me like, "What? You ain't tell me this one." Who the most thoughtful?
Shamika.
Yeah, I am.
Most spontaneous.
Drea.
The one who's liable to say anything.
Depending on the situation.
It depends on the situation. If it's DM wise, it's Shamika.
The one who always got the jokes.
Oh, that's me.
Drea.
So now let's I don't want people to think that I don't want people to think I just got these two young ladies, my friends, on for happy hour. But they heard me say something before the show started. I said a word, and I think I kind of like made them both laugh because neither one of them ever heard me talk like that. Definitely Shamika and Drea probably was like, he said that. Someone in the chat, I hope you didn't say it will help redistribute energy focus. Absolutely won't. The student loan will do one thing. If they cancel the student loan, it'll just be canceled and a bunch of people won't owe. But other than that, it will do exactly what its purpose is to do. It will help people get out of debt. But anyway, let's talk about this project you guys been working on. It's been like a little over a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A year and a half, going on 2 years.
Correct.
Wow. So explain it, Dre. I'll let you get in this now. I'll let you. Okay.
So, Shamika and I started the Carreras Project about a year and a half ago, like pre-COVID, and we were just like, "Hey, we should do a project and join forces because we're both coaches too, right?" Shamika's on the career side. I'm more on like the professional, personal side, but I can dabble into career. But that's Shamika's that's her career thing over there. So, we was like, hey, let's do this for, Black women, because as Shamika had mentioned, even though we're most educated, but sometimes we don't know how to channel our skills and our strengths, and and we're not happy in the positions that we're in. So we decided, hey, let's start transitioning women to be successful in their own right, because we are both successful in our own right, even though we're different people. But it took, work and also encouragement and support. So that's how we started the Careers Project. And when COVID hit, it was like, all right, remember how businesses were shutting down, people's jobs were shutting down. So we said, let's offer, a cohort. So we had our first cohort when, Shamika, like March, April?
March. We start recruiting in March, so probably like April.
Right.
Yeah.
So like April. So we had about 8 women, like 6 to 8 women, because we also want to be small too, because we know how working with sisters are. Sometimes we like, sis, somebody will monopolize the whole thing, and then we like, we're not gonna be here all night. So we do 6 weeks, and so we had our first cohort, and then like we had our summer cohort. So that was just to help and just pretty much have like that social impact of giving back for COVID, because we know that's a struggle. We have women of all type of backgrounds, different ages, stories, different places, and we had some success stories that happened with the Careers Project. We had one young lady who, had relocated. She was like globally. She was literally in another country, and she came back to the States and didn't have any support. And, she was referred to us by somebody. And so, I mean, now sis is like about to go to grad school. I mean, job back, have apartment. And now she's got admitted into grad school because we worked with her. So, we see like the success stories. I'm trying to think who else. We have a lot of success stories. Who else?
Yeah, and a lot of the women. I think it was that, like a confidence. Just rebuilding their confidence and believing in themselves again was huge. We went from like talking about grieving, because COVID, we all lost something. It wasn't just family. It was your job. It was your dreams, your plans, like whatever you had, in mind for your future, that was kind of ripped apart with COVID. Right. So we really
it's excuse me, Mika. It's interesting that when I last talked to you guys, I didn't pick up on it before, but I kind of picked up on it now. Is like how you guys set up your project. This is like in both of y'all wheelhouse. Like even with both of y'all schooling, like a lot of times people will start, a lot of us will start projects and it might not have anything to do with what we went to secondary school for, or it might be like a dream or whatever. And it's like if an individual is at a crossroads in their career and they come into Mika and they don't really know Drea, and Mika could kind of identify like, oh, it's not the career that they're having a problem with. It's might more of like a spirituality and a mental block. Drea, I need your help. Step in. This is your area of expertise. Right. So, when a young lady comes in, younger or old, comes into you guys career list, you guys can kind of assess the person and be like, you know what? Maybe you should work with this person a little bit more because their strength is in the area or their weakness is in the area where your strength is at, and so forth and so on.
Right.
I didn't even pick up on it before. I don't know why, my listening skills might have been better over the last couple of months.
No, definitely. And a lot of our ladies, they kind of gravitate towards us. Like our first cohort, the majority of the women gravitated towards me, and I was like, listen, Drea, like I don't know what's happening, but all the women are coming to me. And then the second cohort, all of them gravitated towards Drea, and she was like freaking out, like, wait, why is everyone calling me?
Right.
Like, so it kind of naturally happens. The ladies, and we kind of all vibe really well, and Drea and I, we compliment each other a lot, like with the career, the life, even just our skill sets.
Right.
And we actually grew in the process of doing this project. And it taught us a lot about ourselves. Like after the second cohort, we're like, oh, we need to
And Mika, I
shut
know,
it down.
Mika, I know that me and Drea has been in contact all throughout COVID,
Hmm.
and it's like for a certain group of people, COVID has kind of like fine tuned their skill set.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say, Mika, since the last time we had you on the show, I think it was right before COVID or right
Yeah.
around the time that we
Mhm.
discussed it. How would you say, like, okay, do you think that you've grown personally since COVID and professionally, or either or?
Oh God. Yes. On both ends. Professionally wise, I really kind of know who my client is, who I want to coach, who I want to be engaged with. Also in COVID, it kind of just reminds you to be grateful of what you do have. And like knowing that I had skills that people actually really needed, and like being confident in myself to step outside my box and get involved was important. And then not only do we each have our own individual businesses, like I work part-time for a nonprofit, and we kind of pivot towards making sure people had their basic needs like rental assistance, food. And trust me, like every day or every week, Dre was like, oh my God, what is happening? Because I was flipping out. Like, I didn't sign up for this. But like, what you mean I have to carry 25-pound bags of rice? So so for me, I definitely grew a lot, professionally, and like just like even with my relationships, personally, communicating more with family and friends, checking in on them, being more intentional about my relationships with people. So that, yeah,
You know,
definitely COVID.
it's funny because I did some work with one of the food banks years ago before COVID and all this stuff, and you guys would be like a multi pronged thing when you try to get services,
Hmm.
even for the people that may had to get on public assistance.
Correct.
You would go to a person like Drea
Mhm.
first.
Hmm. Yep.
Um, they'll check, see where you at mentally, and then all this stuff, and then you'll go like, okay, we're gonna give you a certain amount of money. We might even be able to give you
Mhm.
some vouchers. Might give you
Hmm.
some rental assistance. But now you got to go to Mika to get back on your feet
Correct.
to get you
Correct.
geared, because a lot of times, and Dre, I want you to speak to this. When we go through changes in our life, career wise, family wise, COVID, which is a pandemic, our mental
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
gets tested. Uh, so a person has to come to Drea and
Hmm.
Drea, this is your skill set. Where are you with COVID? I mean, I know on a personal level that you are like super energy is there. You loving your students at Tuskegee. Um,
Yes.
how is this with the career list? How's it going for you? Like, is it extra energy now? It's more enthusiasm. Talk to me
I
about
mean,
that.
like, I felt better because, like, even though we was doing careers project, I was going through my own personal things, at home, and that, God has a way of like cleaning up house, okay, honey, like God
Hmm.
has a way of cleaning up house. So that happened, and so I ended up getting my, being a professor at Tuskegee at the same time too. So I could definitely say as far as with my own personal business, with my own coaching business, I was busy and I was like inundated with so many women who was just dealing with the grief process. Um, Probably a lot of your audience don't know. I worked as a hospice social worker for a few years and I really enjoyed that piece. I know people like, oh my God, that's morbid. But I really had tapped into like how to, what grief look like and what loss look like. And it's not just about a job or a relationship, but how can you allow your family members to transition in a peaceful way. And I think people were just so like scattered when COVID had hit because it's like, what is this? A pandemic. So I had really was able to cope and help other people. And I felt like that was part of like my purpose that season, to help folks. As far as with professional wise, like I feel like, man, I have really tapped into my skill set of being an educator, and I love educating. I'd rather educate and facilitate and like mold the young social workers' minds than me being a nonprofit. I paid my dues. Now I'm paying my dues in academia, and I get to really instill like my skill sets. And even with my students, seeing them grow and seeing them just even be resilient, because you're talking about young people who can't hang out with their friends anymore because they're in different places.
I got a question. I had a question from somebody on Facebook. I don't know who it is. I don't know how to take this question.
Oh Jesus!
It says, I need you. The person that asked the question, I need some clarity. How do you deal with the cleaning of the house, and how are you handling how that looks? That's for Drea. I know this isn't for Mika. I think that might be more of a spiritual thing, Drea. A spiritual question.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like last year with COVID, my spirituality has I tapped all the way in with spirituality, and sometimes when you tap all the way in, God or whoever you believe in, your higher power source is going to clean the house for you, especially when there's blockage that you ran your course with people. And as much as you want to hold on, and I heard this before, as much as you want to hold on, you have to let go, especially if your growth, your mental growth, your physical growth, your spiritual growth, you have to let those folks go. So that's how I handle it. And also going to therapy. Therapy has helped me tremendously of being able to handle things even better. I feel like if I didn't have like the Careers Project or my career and I didn't go to therapy, I probably wouldn't be able to sit here with like
the therapist going to therapy.
Exactly. And so I tell my students that all the time, you need a therapist sometimes to navigate. That's why I always preach to people, like, even if you can't afford it, get an EAP program, get something to help you cope, because a lot of people are not coping, hence why we see mental health on the rise. We see just even suicide. And I'm a suicide prevention facilitator at my university. So seeing like my students, like every day, I'm like, yo, y'all good? Like, do you want to kill yourself? And that's the hardest thing you have to ask. And they're like, oh my God, but you have to ask that because you just never know. Or just if you may say something wrong and that person may go kill themselves, that's going to be on your conscience. But, like, I'm just making sure that whatever being intuitive and whatever God's like, yo, let it go, I'm letting it go, and I'm not second guessing it, because life is too short for me to be holding on to something that is weighing me down and that's crippling my growth and my purpose overall too.
He switched the words. Dwayne said very true that the EAP program helped him.
Yes.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question though, because I don't think I asked you, Mika, the last time. Okay. I know that we
like
for those in the chat, I mentioned something about last year when we interviewed. These young ladies had the privilege of going to see in person Dr. Yusef Hawkins. Drea, explain to everybody in the chat, who Dr. Yusef Hawkins is.
So he was one of the, what they call them now, the exonerated 5. So, the Central Park 5, who, pretty much, I always say he had the faith of a mustard seed to hold on, support, while he was doing, I don't like to say the bid, but while he was doing his bid, right? And, he really held on to his faith of, I think he's Muslim. And, that helped him cope to get through his time while being, labeled as a sexual predator. And I mean, like, for him to turn his life around, when Shamika and I went to go see him, I was like, whoa. I mean, even like the swag, like how he came out.
I know.
Okay, brother, like, come out there with your goofy scarf on, looking like I was just impressed by like how, because a lot of times we like, yes, our bodies are in prison, but his mind, like, he kept going with his mind and his spirituality. And so that's why it's important to blend the two, because it's all interconnected. So, just even watching him speak, it was just like, I was mind blown for him to go through that whole struggle and miss out on his purpose, but not really miss out on his purpose. This just got redirected. Just miss out on his like childhood dreams, and for him to be where he's at, I mean, that's resiliency 101.
Yeah, the reason why I brought it up is because We want to be of those people who not just talk about these people when a documentary's coming out. Um,
Mm,
we want to uphold them all the time, and I always think about them. And it's amazing how their documentary, everything that went on with their life, how it was politicized then, and how it was politicized now. And
yeah.
I just think that it's amazing that everybody always wants to be on the right side of history, and
Mm,
they'll even change history to fit their narrative because they want to seem like they're on the right side of history. And I thought that it was interesting when Drea had told me like, "Yo, we can't do the show this week," and I was like, "Wow, what's up?" We're both going. I'm traveling up there, and we're both going to go see him because you know let's be honest. Most people, when they have their girls' night out, it's not going to go to no lecture to go see Dr.
Listen.
It wasn't no girls night out. It was Shamika's 40th
Right.
birthday weekend, honey. So we got to live it up and get educated too.
So
Yeah,
let me
we
ask,
went from
let
the
me
spa to getting educated.
so let me ask you guys a question. Who had the pen and pad? Nobody had the pen and pad when y'all was there.
No, it was completely dark in the auditorium, so you wasn't writing anything down.
No tape
Downstairs,
recorder.
no tape recorder, but I think we were just so engaged in his conversation that you like really understood where he was coming from, and you could find some personal connection to him. So yeah, we ended up actually having dinner reservations. So we had to sneak out a little early, so we didn't get to meet him in person. But yeah, I think it was an amazing time. But yeah,
What? Let me.
but we
ask
are
you
those
guys-
type of people. Like our birthday celebrations aren't typical. It was like, all right, we're going to the spa, we're gonna eat, we're gonna relax, we're gonna go, to Rhode Island College, listen to him speak, and then we're gonna go to yeah, totally
Yeah,
different.
that's one of the things I know. Drea probably misses a lot with not being up northeast and being south. She probably misses like northeast. You could get on a train and just next thing you know, you got somebody a big time lecturer at any college, like at any given moment. But now she's at Tuskegee.
We got at
So-
Tuskegee,
So
exactly.
so Mika, she probably like, look, with all this vaccination stuff and all this stuff going on,
Wanna come back
she
up
probably
here?
like they want to come to Tuskegee right now.
They are. So yes, I can get. Guess what I can do? Click Zoom. Oh, okay. One of Malcolm X's daughters is speaking.
Really?
Look at her.
So let me ask you. So Mika, it was your birthday weekend.
Correct.
Beautiful birthday weekend, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so much. It was my 40th.
The best.
So yeah.
So
So
let me ask you though.
mhm.
When you guys want, do you feel like you guys are going when you guys go on trips like that? Do you guys feel like you guys are going as clinicians, lay people,
no.
educators?
No, we're going as Shamika and Drea trying to get our own education on and relax. I think we're such caregivers and our jobs require us to give a lot. So we purposely take time to enjoy our personal selves. And like you said, if I need to shut it down, I shut it down. Like, all right, my business is important to me, but I'm no good to my clients if I'm not taking care of me first. So when we have our girls trip, it's for us. It's not trying, no. Mm-mm. I see you when I come back.
Exactly. How are we gonna be clinicians and we drinking wine spritzers?
Yes.
That's what we like to drink.
So
We're a little bougie. We're a little bougie.
on any of the, let's just say, educational trips. Let's just say
Oh, that was
educational.
when we went to Darman. Yeah.
North Carolina. Went to
Yeah.
Who was there?
I had spoke at the Black Communities Conference, and I invited Shamika. I was like, just get your ticket, and so she got her ticket. And we had a blast even then.
Yeah, we did.
Mika, when you saw her speaking, what were you saying to yourself? That's my partner up there. She better do her thing.
I think we truly each other on so much. It's just like, girl, I got you. I'm going to record you. You need to promote yourself, and let's celebrate.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. I know I asked both of y'all individually about COVID. So Do you think that with the COVID, right, and every majority of stuff had to be virtual, like you couldn't just jump on a plane like y'all used to, as you planning it, but you just can't do it. Certain states, got
Hmm.
certain restrictions. Do you feel like the career list actually got better? Like y'all really like? I know individually, both of y'all said y'all stepped y'all game up, but collectively, do y'all feel like, yo, it's even better than we expected?
I I it's yes and no. For me, I personally think the fact that we cared enough to impact our sisters, and offer a program for free, it encouraged them to get engaged. But when we pivot and say, hey, all right, we gave two cohorts, of free services, our time, our energy, now it's time, like we're putting a fee on this because it's worth it. That's when people are hesitant because no one
Mhm.
wants to. I don't want to say no one wants to. It takes a lot to encourage people to invest in themselves, like holistically into their life and their career. They don't see that as more valuable. So with us right now, we're even trying to pivot and figure out how can we continue the creative step project in a different manner. Like, are we doing monthly workshops? Are we going to do cohorts? Are we going to reach out to different organizations and offer our services to them? So I want to say for the career project, it it picked up because we cared, and we wanted to see our sisters successful, and we knew how it felt to lose something that we were passionate about, or lose our jobs, or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
I know one of the things I remember when Drea first posted it, and I'm like, and this is my own preconceived nut man stuff that goes on in my head. When you get the wrong bird, you get the bird that's telling you some other stuff. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, she got a project about women, right? And I'm like, how does this work? And I know her a little bit, and I'm like, this woman is so pro nuclear family, like she loves men. See,
Yeah.
because a lot of times,
No, that
and
was
this is
our one of our goals too, is to really focus on our Black men,
this is for
but
people in the chat.
yeah.
This is for people in the chat that a lot of times when we see groups and organizations and things that's empowering women, the first thing
Hmm.
is first thing we say sometimes, because we got stuff going on. The first thing you say,
Hmm.
oh, they just gonna be bashing brothers. That's all
Oh,
they gonna be
please.
doing is bash. So I'm looking at the thing like, not,
No.
not Drea, like, nah, nah, she can't do that. Like, she would never do that. I'm like,
That's true.
something ain't right.
No. No,
So
we're
it's just
talking about grieving, right? Like self
We
care, like
to talk about like, oh, we gonna blast black men. First of all, I wouldn't participate in that because I'm not a feminist.
no,
Um,
exactly.
I do love the black family. I do love black love. But we was like, yo, brothers, come through. Like, and even if people in your audience that are brothers, give us some tips on how we can market to you guys because y'all need healing
Hmm.
too. Let's be honest. Like, y'all need
Correct.
our assistance. We have so many different programs for women, but if we would, like healing, um, coaching is not just designated for women. Like
Correct.
men
Correct.
also need the healing and coaching and career transitioning. And I don't see a lot of programs for you all. So, if y'all got some tips, like help us out. Because
Because seriously, like my men client, like their wives or their girlfriends refer them to me. They don't come directly to me. I usually get the wife, the girlfriend saying, hey, I tried to help him. He ain't listening anymore.
uh-huh.
Let me pull in Shamika. Like, I don't get guys really coming to say, hey, I need coaching, I need
Right.
guidance with my career or whatever it may be. It's very rare that I get that.
I think it's I can't speak for all men. And I know it may sound crazy that it's men because I think all people go through what they go through, but I think it's a matter of maturation. A man has to be at a certain point in his life where he can identify certain issues that he needs to probably need help or need assistance with, and he's got to be willing to do it. He can't. One thing about men is that, in my opinion, a woman could say to her girlfriend, "I see certain things in you. Maybe you should go get help." I don't think a man would take too kindly from another man telling him to go get help. I think it would.
Mhm.
I think it would be more of, "Yo, bro, I think I need help." and then he can volunteer his advice.
Oh,
But
okay.
for him to just come out and say like, "Yo, you need to go get checked up on," he might be offended and might look at him and be like, "What you mean? What you mean?" You know, if because and Dwayne agree with me because I know if I was to go to him and Craig and be like, "Yo, man, I think I might need to sit down at the couch." I know both of them would encourage me to do that, but I don't think both of them would tell me that when I start my, and I haven't been there to say that I need to sit down. But if I was to be talking crazy, I don't think they would think it was as serious as it may be, unless I volunteer and be like, "Yo, man, I think something wrong with me." So I think it's just the men with their ego. I know a lot of people in the chat may think this is crazy. Men have very strong egos, but they're fragile.
Yes.
Oh, we know that. Yes. Agreed.
They're fragile. Very, and we know who could break them, right?
We can. Yeah.
Yes, we have that power. Yes, we do. Ooh, that's a whole nother conversation.
That's another episode.
Oh, you trying to get us in trouble? Not tonight. Not tonight. No.
So tell us. I know that this has been. I call it. They say it Women's Month. So this is why I wanted to bring you guys on. You guys could come on. Let's talk anytime you want. But have you guys done anything different for Women's Month?
Yes, our journaling workshop. We're actually so that's coming up next Thursday. We're gonna be I always been like someone who communicates better through writing and letting go of things through like a journal or something like that. And I had stopped for a while. And I know for Drea personally, she recently started back journaling for healing. And with that encouragement, like that sisterhood, we encourage each other. When we see one of us is going left, I'm like, "Hey girl," or she'll be like, advise me on something. So I think we just naturally feed off each other.
Yeah, because Mika, when Drea sent me the text about last week, right? She would not come on without you. I didn't try to encourage her. I didn't try to encourage her to come on, but she was like, "No, we got to cancel."
I wasn't feeling well whatsoever. Yeah,
it actually was. It turned out to be interesting because I worked the next day. And, I probably would have been, I done yawned once already during the show. I probably would have been yawning even more. I mean, I always tell people, I can stay up at night and I can stay up late at night, but I just can't recover like I used to. Find myself being the best nap taker in the world in a minute.
Oh yeah, come on now. Pandemic hit. I'm like naps. I have to have a nap every day.
Think I might need to move where they practice a siesta somewhere because.
Yes, I don't know how we're gonna go back to like that 8-hour work day. This is not gonna happen.
I don't think we're going back.
No. But so anyway, we have our journaling workshop. Trey, you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so we have our journaling workshop, which is the response was amazing. So that's what we're gonna do. We didn't think about it for Women's Month. We were just planning out activities like, all right, this month we're gonna do this month we're gonna do that. So we're going to like teach women how to journal. I've been back journaling consistently since November. I even my students in my interpersonal skills lab, I have them journal too, and they have to turn look like they watching turning y'all to journal articles. So that's important because a lot of times we forget about self-expressive therapy. That's part of therapy too, is self-expressive. So we've been putting up like writing prompts because a lot of people get stuck with like, well, what do I journal about? It could be a whole page, it could be a word, it could be an adjective. Long as you're putting the thoughts to paper and you're going back and looking at your healing process, that's very important. So, we're just gonna teach women how to really journal, but it doesn't have to be women, it could be the gentlemen too. Because y'all need to push your thoughts on paper too. And what I encourage my students is, even if you don't push your thoughts on paper, you can record your journal. Whether it's an audio recording or you can visually record them. So that's what I tell my students to do, because a lot of them, I don't want to write, especially if they got to send me an APA 6-page paper. They're like, F you, I'm not writing no paper. I'm going to video record it. So long as you are expressing yourself verbally, and I think a lot of times we get caught up with not communicating because somewhere down the line someone told us that our voice wasn't valuable enough, and visible enough. So that's what we have going on for Women's Month, and we had other dope things. So was it last year? We did a panel. We talked about sister friends.
Oh yes.
Really breaking up with a sister friend, that's tough. All Black women, and we talked about not just girl power, but like the real struggles of being in sisterhood that people don't talk about neither.
Yeah, and sis is not always a good thing. Like, you calling me sis? Yeah, we want. Yeah,
that's a great thing, and I really appreciate you ladies coming on tonight. And don't be a stranger, Tamika. I mean, Tamika, don't be no stranger, y'all.
Well, you got to call me out.
I got one last question for you, though. One last question for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Client comes in. You consider them clients?
Yeah, coaches, clients. Yeah,
all over the place. I mean, in this climate, you're directing them to think about their career.
Correct.
But now it's like they don't know whether they want to continue in the workforce or they want to start their own business.
Mm-hmm.
How was that dilemma? How was that like? Are you trying to guide them to a certain way, or are you trying to get them to
no.
come up with their own answer?
I always believe that we're all creative beings, and we already have the solution to our own problems, but we just have to feel confident enough to take those steps to do what we already know we need to do. So for me, I really just like how my client initially come up with their goals. What do you want to achieve through this through these sessions with me? I'm not here to do the work. I'm here to brainstorm with you, to get you to come up with a plan and keep you accountable. So we really just talk about our goals, then have them doing some self-discovery. What are your skills? What are your values? What's important to you? How will you leaving your job impact your family? Do you have a support system who can cover you while you're starting your business? I never recommend any of my clients to quit their jobs. No. I don't want you saying Shamika told me to quit my job. No, they
come back, act like you the post office or something. They be
like I'm unemployment. No,
they be like, I lost everything, 401k down the drain.
Yes, no. We do not encourage any of that. Like you said before, if I find that it's not career related, I always refer them to a therapist. We have a friend who's a therapist, or I'd be like, hey, Dre, this client's for you. I can't handle them. So I always do like a 30-minute consultation to make sure that we flow together, that we get along, that I can actually really help you. I don't do it. Oh,
I mean, yeah. I can just imagine, because a person sometimes may not understand that when they come to you guys and they want to be part of it, people assume that everything is always easy. And they'll say, "Oh, I gotta do the work. I'm willing to do the work." Well, when you're saying you're willing to do the work, now you got to pull back some layers.
Yeah, when you have to pull those layers, like self-discovery by itself is difficult for everyone. It's like, who are you? What are your skills? What do you enjoy doing? Like I have a client right now. Like we're going through actually one of my I'm mentoring someone, but I'm going through this process with her of trying to figure out, what are your skills? What do you enjoy doing? Are you just living, working to live? Or are you really living? Are you pausing to celebrate those small moments of achieving your goals? Are you just like jumping from one thing to the next? But people are, it's hard for people to look in the mirror and figure out who they are and accept who they are. You know, like the good, the bad, the ugly. Like you have to understand before you can even go to switch your career. Because sometimes it's not the job, it's you.
I'm willing to bet if they ever did a survey that it's more people addicted to working than it is addicted to drugs.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they said that workaholism is a undervalued addiction. We overlook that, and it's an addiction, and a lot of Americans do not take vacation. I shut it down. I don't care. I'm like, bye.
No, I put them boundaries up. Like even with my boss, I'm like, listen, if I want to work yes, but that's my choice. But I put boundaries up. Don't call me past at 9 o'clock at night. I'm not answering my phone. I'm not answering my text. Like you can email me.
It's funny, right? Because I'm actually like not on call for my job for the weekend, but I wanted to work for the week. And I said to myself, watch this job call me while I'm starting the show. And it's kind of crazy that sometimes we'll be doing one thing and we be so concerned about our employment, like, oh, they gonna call me. And not trying to be funny, if they call, they can leave a voicemail and I'll turn the call back.
Exactly. And that's why you have to
we flow that way.
Yeah, you have to have boundaries. I mean, especially being in education, like you get emails all the time. And like even your students email. One of my students called me, asked me, where you been at? I haven't talked to you. Ma'am, you a whole graduating senior. I'm not checking for you.
It's true though. You definitely have to have that boundary.
Mika, you hear the professor? You hear the professor?
I was an instructor for a while too. Yeah, those boundaries are so important.
Yes,
and you have to know that's only for your mental health. Like, especially if you're in a job that you're giving so much of yourself to people, like you have to have those boundaries. You have to take care of yourself because otherwise you're going to burn out. Yep. So yeah.
Well, I'll definitely say this. I really appreciate you guys joining the show tonight. And I could tell that Mika in the last year has definitely watched a couple shows because she is super comfortable talking to me now. For some reason, the last show, Drea did all the talking, and Mika was sitting there like,
"Who this dude? Like, why you got me on the show?"
And I'm like, Drea, why she ain't talking? He's like, she got to get to know you first. So I'm glad you guys came on because we finally got a chance to hear the voice. I would see the post and all this, and I'm like, yo, she got to have a voice doing what she's doing. So listen.
Yes, I'm not mute. I promise.
I appreciate you, young ladies, and I honor you, and thank you for all that you're doing to make the world a better place.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys have a great weekend, and thank you everybody in the chat for joining us. Any final thoughts, Mika or Drea?
Oh, I'm like, oh goodness, definitely support us. Like check out our websites, join our groups. It's for everyone, our focus is Black women, but we do not turn anyone away. So if you want to join in, please do. And Drea?
And if you're in the chat, don't be trying to look at Drea's vision board back there.
I don't have my vision board back
there.
I have books. And we have merchandise too. We have journals, we have stickers, we have buttons, and also to Shamika and I, we do both collectively. You'll get 2 coaches for 1. So if you need individual coaching from both of us, we also do that as well. So we're inclusive when it comes to that. Even if you want to donate, we're open to accepting donations at www.careersproject.com and follow us on Facebook and on IG. And that's it.
Mika, I'm gonna remind you to tag me to the post because someone else doesn't do that. With that, everybody have a blessed night. Stay safe. And
I got you.
Weekend.